SAGE stands for the Smart Academic Green Environment, and it was specially designed to be a healthy alternative to the standard portable classroom.
My standpoint is actually not as an educator or as an architect, but interestingly enough, as a parent. Margaret Late, who's the co-creator of this, she and I were at one of those parent meetings. The focus of our complaint was this modular classroom, and everybody was up in arms. How are they going to put this classroom that is everything a classroom shouldn't be installed in our school? They all turned to us literally and said, well, you are architects. You solve it. I think we didn't understand all the issues and the hurdles we would have to go through, but it led us to just start a journey where we decided what we were trying to do was change the system. And that means how do we introduce new ideas into the acquisition process?
Blazer, Portland State University, and numerous others worked on the project, and it came to a point where we needed to find somebody to sell and market the building. Pacific Mobile stepped in and decided to take a risk.
We were first introduced to the design team at Portland State University, led by Sergio Palaroni and Margaret Leet back in 2012. And I really enjoyed getting to meet them and realize that we had a similar vision on what we felt educational spaces could be. And so when I first saw their initial design, I was immediately drawn to how aesthetically pleasing it was, and at the same time, very simple in its design. So I thought that this really had a chance to be something that could be desirable in the marketplace. So I thought to myself, you know what, we can build this. And that's exactly what we ended up doing.
We built one for the World Green Building Conference. And thanks to Pacific Mobile, we shipped it to San Francisco, and it got displayed at the entrance of the World Conference of Green Design.
We felt really strongly about wanting to build something so people could actually walk through it, touch and feel it, and really get a sense for how they can start thinking differently about the flexibility of relocatable buildings.
Portland State architects felt that standard portable classrooms didn't provide enough fresh air.
CO2, the amount of CO2 in a classroom, had an enormous impact on kids' learning capacities. Most classrooms have so much CO2 in it that children's learning capacity is being reduced by 10, 20, 30, 40%. And we shot for 100 air%. How do we get better air delivery? How do we get a place that's really kind of worthy of being a classroom? You know, aesthetic concerns, environmental concerns, human concerns. How do we make it not the thing that you put behind the building and forget because you want to hide it, but something that people would be proud of, and something that school districts would be willing to invest in?
It's exciting to see the pictures and the sites where the SAGE classrooms are in place. The different colors, the student environment. We're very, very proud of this building.
One of the first SAGE classrooms I was in, and I was able to be in there and watch the kids come into the room, and it never failed. Every time they stepped through the door, their eyes would always go up to the ceiling and to the lights, and to look around and say, wow, this is really open. It's not what they're used to. It was a cool thing to see.
I can imagine, you know, not only that we would be building entire schools this way, but what about clinics? What about office spaces? In designing the school, one of our biggest revelations was designing the space that the office workers in a school, all the administration, I think, how do we make them a great space as well? So I think it's an open field. I think SAGE has been an entry into rethinking the future. And it's so amazing that we could think that manufactured buildings could be a vision of what the healthy, happy, productive future of buildings would be.